The most dangerous part of attraction is not rejection, it's false hope. It's that moment when someone smiles at you, looks at you a little longer than usual, finds a reason to be around you, and now your brain starts writing a story your life hasn't actually confirmed. And if you've ever been wrong about that, you know how brutal it feels. Not just embarrassing, disorienting. Because now, you're not only wondering whether they liked you, you're wondering whether you can trust your own read on people at all. Here's the truth. When someone likes you, they usually don't say it first. Their body does, in tiny signals, fast signals, signals that leak out before they've had time to manage them. Most guys miss those signals because they're looking for one big obvious clue. But attraction usually doesn't show up that way. It shows up as a pattern. I learned that the hard way. There was a time I was completely sure someone liked me. She laughed at my jokes a little too easily, held eye contact a little longer than normal, always seemed to find a reason to come talk to me. So in my head, it stopped being a possibility. It became a story. And that's where things go wrong. Because once attraction mixes with hope, your brain stops observing and starts editing. You stop asking, what's actually happening here? And start asking, how can I make this mean what I want it to mean? That's how people misread friendliness. And that's how they miss real interest too. So I started paying attention to what people do before they've had time to control it. Because most people focus on the obvious things, smiles, compliments, long conversations, but those can be managed. The better signals are usually faster, quieter, and harder to fake. The first sign is so fast, most people miss it completely. It's the eyebrow flash. Most guys wait for the smile, the vibe, the longer conversation. But one of the most honest signals happens before all of that, right when they see you. When someone notices a person they're genuinely happy to see, their eyebrows lift for a split second, not dramatically, just a quick, subtle rise. And what makes this sign so useful is that it usually happens before they've had time to manage their face. That's why it matters. It's one of those reactions that slips out before social control kicks in. Imagine walking into a room and the person you like spots you from across it. In that first half second before the smile settles in, before they act normal again, you catch that tiny lift. That is not proof they're secretly obsessed with you, but it is real information. It usually means your presence created an immediate positive reaction. And that's the shift you need to make with signals like this. Don't treat one sign like a verdict. Treat it like evidence. Because one smile can be politeness. One long conversation can be friendliness. But a fast, involuntary reaction like this tells you something a little deeper. Here's something most guys never think to watch. Their feet. I know that sounds strange at first, because when people talk about attraction, they usually focus on the face, the eyes, the smile, the tone of voice, but faces are easier to control. People know their face is being watched, so they manage it. They soften it, hide it, adjust it. But their feet? Almost nobody is thinking about what their feet are doing in real time. And that's exactly why they matter. When someone is genuinely interested in you, their body tends to orient toward you even when the rest of them is trying to play it cool. You've probably seen this before without realizing it. Someone is in a group conversation. They're technically talking to somebody else, but their feet keep pointing toward one person. That usually means their attention is there too. And small details like that matter because real attraction tends to leak out in quiet ways. Imagine you're at a party or standing around after work. The person you like is laughing, acting casual, saying all the normal things, nothing obvious. But if their feet keep finding you, if their body keeps opening in your direction, that's not random. That's interest showing up below the level of performance. The next thing to watch is whether their body starts syncing with yours. This is one of the clearest signs of real interest, because it usually happens without effort. They mirror you, not in some obvious, awkward way. Not like they're copying you on purpose, just in small, natural moments. You lean back, and a few seconds later they lean back too. You slow your voice down, and they start matching your pace. You pick up your drink, and somewhere in the flow of the conversation, they do the same. That matters because people naturally sync with what feels emotionally important to them. Most guys think attraction has to look big, long eye contact, heavy flirting, big compliments. But a lot of the time, attraction looks quieter than that. It looks like rhythm. It looks like two people gradually falling into the same tempo without trying to. And mirroring is hard to fake over time. Someone can force a smile, they can fake politeness, but unconscious synchrony usually shows up when they feel comfortable, engaged, and drawn in. That doesn't automatically mean romance, but it almost always means connection. And connection is usually where attraction starts growing. Another sign people overlook is what someone actually remembers about you. Because attraction is not just about where someone looks or how they move, it's also about what their mind keeps. Most people forget a huge amount of what they hear every day, not because they're cold, just because the brain filters constantly. It decides what matters and what doesn't. So when someone remembers a small detail you mentioned once, that usually means something landed. Maybe you casually said you had a rough week. Maybe you mentioned your favorite coffee order. Maybe you told a quick story about your dog, your hometown, or a trip you want to take. Then later, days later, sometimes weeks later, they bring it up again. Not in a forced way, just naturally. Hey, how did that thing go? Is your dog okay now? You still planning that trip? That kind of memory feels different because it tells you they weren't just hearing you, they were storing you. And that's a strong signal. Not because memory alone equals attraction, but because attention is expensive. People remember what feels emotionally important to them. That's why this sign often means more than flirting. Flirting can be playful, it can be social, it can even be generic. But remembering something small and specific about you usually comes from genuine interest. And then there's the last sign. They find small reasons to get closer. This one needs maturity, because context matters. But when someone likes you, they often close distance in subtle, natural ways. Not in some dramatic movie way. Not anything inappropriate. Just small moments of closeness that feel a little too consistent to be random. They stand a little nearer than they need to. They lean in when they could have stayed back. Their arm brushes yours and they don't rush to pull away. They find tiny reasons to stay in your space a second longer. And most guys miss this because they're still looking for one huge signal instead of repeated microsignals. One close moment means nothing by itself. But when closeness keeps happening light, casual, unforced closeness that usually tells you their body feels comfortable around you. And comfort matters, because attraction is not just wanting someone, it's also the absence of resistance around them. At the end of the day, this is what changed everything for me. I stopped looking for one big sign. That was the mistake. One smile can be politeness. One long conversation can be friendliness. One moment of eye contact can be random. But patterns are different. Patterns tell the truth. If someone lights up when they see you, keeps orienting toward you, mirrors your energy, remembers the small things, and keeps finding reasons to stay close, that's no longer just your imagination filling in the blanks. That's real information. And here's the part most guys need to hear. The goal is not to become paranoid and overanalyze every interaction. It's the opposite. It's to stop guessing blindly, to stop turning hope into evidence, to stop missing what's actually right in front of you. Because people who like you usually do reveal it. Not perfectly, not loudly, but consistently. Their mouth may be careful. Their body usually isn't. So the next time you're wondering whether someone likes you, don't chase one magical sign. Watch the pattern. That's where the answer usually is.